For several years, residents of the city of Tampa and Hillsborough County have attended countless meetings, charrettes, public hearings, and over we have been saying, Transit Now Tampa Bay.
Everybody got used to it. Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Let's do light rail from here, from there,
Yeah.
from there. Now you're 20 years behind.
Yeah, and we put a lot of
20
work.
years
Yeah,
behind
we
from
put a
and
lot of
all
work into
because of
designing
hate.
all that. Like, in
Hey,
high school.
20 years behind because of hate. That's what it adds up. Add up to hate.
I
Just
can't
because
call
you
it
hate
that
somebody. But I can't, I don't work for the city.
because I'm.
Hey, I can also say climate change. Climate change.
Thank you.
Everybody in our table in unison pretty much agreed that mitigation first was a policy that we all really kind of agreed with. And by mitigation first, I don't mean let's build this thing and we're going to give you these other options. By mitigation first, I mean let's build these options and do something innovative and not do something that's 20 years old. Let's set the plan for the future, not the plan for yesterday.
Everyone repeats these, and you'll see it from the next two teams coming down too. Everybody goes back to the protected bike lanes, the protected sidewalks, the community streets, the walkable streets. Those are things that make neighborhoods work.
Putting the streetcar back on Central, improved bus service, more bike routes, improving the walkability. There are sidewalks missing in some parts of the neighborhood. On Florida, it's 3 feet wide, and typically there's traffic here and a fence or a building here, so it's just frightening to walk there.
We would like solar sound walls, and at the base of that, additional parking, and ideally that would run basically the length of Seminole Heights. And like I said earlier, we have a lot of parking issues right now that is hindering our commercial area. And by tying that into a little intermodal to our other mobility options, maybe we'd have like the coast shares as well as the underpasses. It would help people to get around, and we can encourage folks to come and visit Seminole Heights without hindering the residents that already live there.
Continuity, so making sure that we have continued service. It doesn't just drop off outside of our neighborhood. We want to be able to go to all the great places and the great services the city has to offer. And when you have a bike lane that just ends at the intersection of Tampa and MLK, and then you can't ride your bike anymore, what do? You're stuck. So continuity is a big factor right there. I think that one other theme is a sense of neighborhood. Complete streets is a common one on a lot of the main streets in this neighborhood. Safety for pedestrians. Vision Zero is a great goal and a great initiative that I strongly believe
Vision Zero is about neighborhood empowerment to effect change to reduce traffic fatalities to zero. We do this by direct neighborhood action and bringing attention to problem areas. But we must do more. We must do more to protect those who are waiting at bus stops. We must do more to stop this cycle of senseless crashing into homes, these terrible accidents on neighborhood roads. At some point, we need to reach Vision Zero. Tell me, so your house was smacked into.
Yes.
And this is your house over there.
Correct.
So I know there's going to be some upgrades here, but is there a sidewalk plan?
You know what? There was at one point talk about a sidewalk running all the way down to Idlewild, all the way down to Publix, and I don't know why that fell apart. We got these new sidewalks, which are fantastic, but at some point they're also kind of like sidewalks to nowhere.
Okay.
Right? To where you can't really finish anywhere other than going out to Hannah. And that's just not a place where people are walking. People are walking.
And here's exactly the kind of person we're saying is going too fast. Well, that was a bad interruption there.
Absolutely.
Dr. Scombati, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Mauricio. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So tell me first a little bit about what you do.
What I do. So I'm trained as a physician, actually in hematology and medical oncology, but I spent 10 years at the National Institutes of Health, which a lot of what is done there is research on what causes diseases. I got very interested in my career about what are the larger things that affect human health, right? I'd be treating one patient at a time. And so I started actually doing environmental work because I got very interested in the interrelationship of the environment to human health and how we can protect the environment and protect health.
Interrupt if I may. the highway itself, I mean, it's made out of asphalt. Does that also add to the pollution?
Right. So yeah. So the reality is highways and streets have greatly expanded. You know, the way we live in terms of the way we get around in cars and cities and economic prosperity. But highways such as asphalt or even concrete roads are something that we call impervious surfaces, right? And so before there were impervious surfaces here in Tampa, this was all just soil and trees.
Right.
And one of the reasons it's important to talk about impervious surfaces because for the most part, all the rainwater that's falling on that asphalt and falling on our roads is getting channeled, some is getting channeled into stormwater ponds. So we call that stormwater because it's rain that falls off. It picks up a ton of pollutants, it picks up a ton of heat, and most of it is channeled directly into our waterways. I want to go back to your thing about Tampa is not a major city.
Right.
But one of the things we're looking at is Tampa's growth, right, over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Correct.
And the growth estimates are projecting here, right?
Right.
So, so I don't think we necessarily have to have this kind of noise level. What we have to be willing to do, though, if we want to buffer some of the noise level, is think about growing or developing the city in a different way. Or what I call kind of how I call it restorative redevelopment. So that as we redevelop, and personally I'm a big believer in some vegetated buffers, could we do more vegetated buffers around roadways and highways?
Road, induced demand suggests all you're going to do is invite more traffic, and you're going to be right back at congestion again. So please, listen to us. The behavior that's been exhibited by the people in this room is the behavior that should be enabled, not the sprawled behavior that's been enabled in the past by the policies and the development that we followed in this community previously. Finally, I love this the best. Tear the damn thing out and put a boulevard in.